Imagine waking up one morning and discovering that a simple puzzle box has unleashed a creature from hell. One that doesn't just want to kill people, but wants to turn the entire world into its personal playground of pain. And for one reporter, uncovering the truth means stepping straight into the nightmare. Hey everyone, welcome back to Midnight Recaps. Tonight's nightmare is the Hellraiser III, Hell on Earth 1992. Before we get into today's nightmare, if you love horror movie recaps like this and you're not subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button. I upload new recaps every week. Now let's get into it. The movie opens inside an art dealer's shop, where we meet J.P. Monroe, a young, wealthy nightclub owner and notorious womanizer who runs a place known as the Boiler Room. As J.P. looks around the shop, he notices a large plaster column known as the Pillar of Souls. The column slowly spins, displaying several sculptures of faces carved into it. At the front is Pinhead, while a small sculpture of the puzzle box sits on the side. Suddenly, the shop owner asks JP if he wants it. With no clue about the hell he's about to unleash on Earth, JP asks how much the dealer wants for it. The owner simply tells him to give him whatever he thinks it's worth. JP hands him some cash. The dealer looks at him and tells him to take pleasure in it.
Take pleasure in it.
And just like that, JP has unknowingly brought something very dangerous into his world. Meanwhile, we meet Joey Summerskill, a reporter working the emergency room beat at a hospital. Unfortunately for Joey, the ER is strangely vacant that night, which frustrates her because she has no story to take back to the station. Her cameraman, Doc, tries to cheer her up, telling her they couldn't have known the night would be this quiet. Then Doc receives a call about a hostage situation. He asks if he can go with Joey, but the person on the other end tells him there's no need because another reporter is already there. Before leaving, Doc tells Joey to lighten up.
The story of your life could be right around the corner.
Joey steps away from the emergency room and notices how strangely quiet the hospital is. The place feels almost deserted. Then suddenly, a man is wheeled into the ER on a gurney. Joey immediately notices something horrifying. Bloody chains are embedded deep inside the man's flesh, with sharp hooks attached to them. As the gurney passes Joey, one of the hooks accidentally cuts her leg. A young woman called Terry follows behind him, hysterically talking to the nurse about his condition. Joey quickly tries to interview her, but Terry insists she wasn't actually with the man and that whatever happened isn't her problem. She explains that she was simply with him at JP's nightclub, the Boiler Room. But before she can get much more information, Joey hears strange noises coming from inside the ER. She rushes in to investigate. What she sees is extraordinary. The chains embedded in the man's body suddenly rise into the air, pulled by an unseen force. Electricity begins surging through the chains, violently shocking the man. Then suddenly his head explodes. Joey is completely horrified by what she's just witnessed. She immediately leaves the room. The next day at the office, Joey tells Doc and Brad, her boss, about the incident. But Brad doesn't believe her. He reminds her that this is television.
No pictures, no story!
Joey insists there is a story out there. Determined to find it, she heads to the Boiler Room and starts asking about Terry. She meets a man there and describes Terry to him. He thinks it could be Terry, who happens to be JP's ex-girlfriend. If that's who Joey is looking for, he says JP should be at the restaurant. Joey goes to the restaurant and finds JP there with his friends. She approaches him, gives him her card, and explains that she's looking for Terry because she believes Terry is a regular at the club and she needs to find her. Instead of helping, JP immediately starts hitting on Joey. Joey quickly shuts him down, telling him she's not his type. Then she leaves. Later that night, Joey experiences a nightmare about her father. She watches him battling under heavy enemy fire before being abandoned by his crew in a helicopter. The sound of Joey's phone ringing wakes her up. It's Terry. Terry tells Joey she got her card from the club and asks what she wants. Joey tells her she wants to talk. Terry makes her a deal. Her boyfriend has thrown her out, so if Joey can give her a place to crash, they can talk. Joey doesn't really have much choice, so she agrees. She tells Terry to come over now, since she's having a bad dream anyway. Terry arrives and immediately becomes interested in Joey's bad dream. Joey tells her it isn't really a nightmare. She knows what it means. Terry asks what she means. Joey explains that it's about her father. He died before she was born. Her family never learned the full details of his death, but Joey keeps dreaming about it and trying to save him. Terry, still traumatized by her breakup with JP, seems relieved to finally have someone she can talk to. After their conversation, Terry asks for a cigarette, and the two women smoke together. Then Joey finally asks the question she's been waiting to ask. What happened that night at the club? Terry says she doesn't really know. She came out of the club and the young man was already lying in the street. Then she says he was a thief and must have taken something from a statue. Joey becomes confused. Taken what? And where did the chains come from? Terry explains that the man was pointing at something. Then she reaches into her bag and pulls out the puzzle box.
He said it came out of this.
The next morning, Terry nearly burns down the kitchen while proudly claiming to be a kitchen virgin. Joey tells her they have to solve this case and figure out what is really going on. She asks Terry about the statue she mentioned. Terry explains that JP, her last boyfriend, bought it. She had found the statue in an art dealer's shop because she knew JP would like it, and eventually, he bought it. Joey asks whether she would recognize the place if she saw it again. Terry says yes. The two women leave together and return to the art dealer's shop. But when they arrive, a man outside tells them the shop has been closed for a month. Terry insists that's impossible because JP bought something from the shop just last week. So they use the back door and enter. Inside, they begin searching through documents for anything that could give them a clue about the puzzle box or pillar of souls. Soon, Terry finds a document containing a diagram of the puzzle box. Back at home, Joey calls the office and asks to be connected with whoever is in charge of the Channard video archives. She also asks for the Kirsty Cotton tape. But Terry now feels Joey has gotten what she needed from her and that she's no longer of any use. She wants to leave. Joey offers to let her stay, knowing Terry doesn't have anywhere else to go. Later, JP is back at the boiler room, slyly watching the women who come into his club. He spots a beautiful blonde woman sitting at the bar. He has one of his employees give her a single rose, along with an invitation to meet him privately. The woman accepts. JP lures her back to his apartment, which is attached to the club, and they have fun. As they do, the sculpture begins showing slight signs of animation. Afterward, JP harshly tells the woman to leave. He only wanted her for pleasure. She reminds him that he gave her a rose. JP coldly tells her that
tomorrow, I'll give one to somebody else.
Angry at being fooled and used, the woman begins yelling at him for being such a cad. But as she steps backward toward the pillar, something horrifying happens. Hooked chains suddenly emerge from the pillar of souls and tear into her skin. She's forced to turn around as the chains lift her off the ground. Then Pinhead's face suddenly comes to life. Another chain shoots forward and hooks into her forehead, immediately ripping off her entire skin. Pinhead then sucks her into the pillar of souls as she screams. Pinhead has returned. JP stands there horrified as Pinhead begins speaking to him. He asks JP what he saw and whether he saw the same thing he did. To Pinhead, the woman's suffering is simply an appetite satisfied and a desire indulged, a miniature representation of the world and how it will eventually succumb to them. JP disagrees. He sees what Pinhead did to the woman as evil. But Pinhead tells him there is no good and no evil. There is only flesh and the pattern to which they submit it. Pinhead then tells JP that he can help him obtain more flesh for him to consume. But JP refuses and reaches for his pistol. Pinhead reminds him that he used that same gun to kill his parents. He understands how tempting their fortune must have been. JP still fires, but the gun is useless. Pinhead effortlessly spits the bullet back out. JP falls to the ground in disbelief. Pinhead then begins convincing him that helping him means helping himself. JP is destined to help him. His paintings and sculptures, Pinhead says, are merely tawdry representations. JP should imagine a world where the body becomes the canvas and the body becomes the clay. His will and Pinhead's will can become the brush and the knife. Pinhead tells JP that there is a place at his right hand for a man with his tastes. A place where he can indulge in flesh, power, and dominion. And JP accepts. Sometime later, Joey gets the videotape she requested from Doc. Doc tells her to call him if she ever needs help with the story. Joey goes home and plays the tape. She watches Kirsty Cotton explaining that she solved the box and saw what came out of it. Kirsty says demons live inside the box and that it is a gateway to hell. In another recording, Kirsty explains that she doesn't know who made the box. She only knows what it does. And what it does is hurt people. Suddenly, the television glitches. Elliot Spencer, Pinhead's human form, appears on the screen. He tells Joey that Kirsty is telling the truth. That evening, Terry is alone at home when she receives a call from JP. She asks what he wants. JP tells her he's simply concerned about her. He says he misses her. Terry admits that she misses him too. JP asks her to come over. But Terry refuses, believing she can start a new life with Joey. She hangs up. As soon as she hangs up, Terry opens a voicemail that was meant for Joey. That's when she discovers that Joey is planning to sell her apartment because she has gotten a job in Monterey. Terry is furious. She leaves. When Joey returns home, she finds a note from Terry. "Enjoy Monterey, you liar." Terry arrives at JP's apartment. There, she notices the Pillar of Souls. JP tells her he brought it there to get some work done on it. He also tells her he's grateful that she found it for him and wants to show his appreciation. But Terry is still upset about their breakup and isn't sure whether she can trust him. JP tries to lure her closer to the pillar so Pinhead can take her. Terry refuses and goes to bed. Later, Terry tells JP what happened between her and Joey. She's emotional as JP tries to comfort her. Terry believes she must have done something wrong because she seems to mess up everything that comes her way. JP tells her that she didn't mess things up between them. Now they're talking about their relationship again. As JP walks closer to the pillar, he tells Terry he's sorry and hates seeing her in pain. He says he just wants to hug her and asks her to come closer. Terry agrees and starts walking toward him. But she refuses to go any farther. JP suddenly grabs her. At the same time, Pinhead comes to life and growls. JP struggles with Terry, desperately trying to drag her toward Pinhead. Terry pulls out a pair of brass knuckles and knocks JP unconscious with a punch. She tries to escape. Suddenly, Pinhead tells her to wait. He asks why she's running and whether she even knows where she is. He tells her she's standing at the door to dreams. There are 2 keys in the room, he explains. One is in JP's pocket. She can take it without him reaching her and return to the world she's always known. Banal, hopeless, and dreamless. The other is the key to dreams, to black miracles, dark wonders, and another life of unknown pleasures. All she has to do is complete the pattern and solve the puzzle. Now Terry is interested. She asks where the key is. Pinhead tells her it's lying bleeding at her feet. He's referring to JP. Terry pushes JP closer to Pinhead. JP wakes up, but it's too late. Hooks and chains grab him and pull him toward Pinhead. Pinhead drives 2 pieces of metal into his head. After absorbing JP's blood, Pinhead gains enough physical mass and power to break free from the Pillar of Souls. The Pillar of Souls shatters to the ground, finally freeing Pinhead completely. Joey is having her usual dream again, but this time something is different. Elliot Spencer appears and tells her she's welcome.
Joey, welcome.
Joey wakes up screaming. Then the television turns on by itself. Elliot Spencer appears again and tells her she has to help him. Joey wakes up and realizes it was only a dream. But the nightmare isn't over yet. She hears a strange musical sound and traces it to her wardrobe. She picks up the source of the sound and places it on the table. Then she hears a voice telling her to go to the window.
Go to the window, Joey.
Joey does exactly that. She walks to the window, opens it, and finds Elliot Spencer sitting on the other side, holding the puzzle box. She steps through and finds herself in another world. Another door opens, releasing a bright light. Soon, Joey finds herself inside her dream again. which raises the obvious question. Is she still dreaming? Spencer tells her she has to help him. He assures her she isn't dreaming. He tells her his name is Elliot Spencer. Joey asks what exactly is happening. Spencer gives her a simple answer. Hell is what's happening, and they have to stop it. He explains that Joey's dreams about finding her father allowed him to find her and bring her to this place, which is a realm between heaven and hell. He says he can't act directly in her world. There is a monster out there, and that monster is him. Spencer then tells Joey how he opened the box of discovery and was taken to hell. There, he found the monster within the box, and it found the monster within him. For decades, he served hell without any memories of his former life, and he still doesn't have them. But even though he was a monster, he was bound by laws. Hell has commandments too. The box had to be opened to let him out, and the truly innocent were supposed to remain safe. Until a friend, Kirsty Cotton, released him. His evil was too strong, so it hid and waited. But no longer. The shell of the beast has been fleshed. What he was is now out there in Joey's world, unbound and unstoppable. Spencer tells Joey there is a gateway to hell through which Pinhead can be taken back. He wants to close that door forever, and he needs Joey to help him. Spencer tells her to use the box to lure Pinhead to the window and bring him into Spencer's dominion, where Spencer has the power. Joey asks what happens if Pinhead takes the box from her. Spencer tells her Pinhead can't take the box from her. It must be given to him. And that's where her courage will matter, because Pinhead can be very persuasive and very inventive. Back at the boiler room, everyone is having a good time when Pinhead makes his dramatic entrance onto the main floor. He looks around at the crowd. Then he says,
Shall we begin?
Everyone panics and tries to escape. But Pinhead uses his supernatural powers to kill them with his chains. Objects fry and attack people, while the doors are locked with his powers, leaving everyone trapped with nowhere to hide. One after another, he kills them. Joey suddenly sees a news report on the television.
Excuse me, officer, we're trying to report the story. We have got reports that there...
She calls her cameraman, Doc, and tells him to turn his television to channel 12. She says she'll need his help and asks him to meet her at the club. Doc agrees. But Doc doesn't see the news report. Joey picks up the puzzle box and leaves. Then we see that the television socket wasn't even plugged in. Pinhead must have used his powers to make only Joey see the news report. He has tricked her into coming to the club. When Joey arrives, she sees Doc's car parked outside. But Doc is nowhere to be found. She enters the club. Pinhead has already finished his rampage. Countless lifeless bodies are scattered across the floor. Soon, the lights come on and a door opens. Joey enters and finds even more bodies inside. Then she sees Doc, lifeless and holding his own severed head in his hands. Pinhead appears and tells Joey that humanity is hiding a dark, painful secret, and he's here to unleash it and make the world suffer. Joey tells him she's there to stop him and send him back to hell, but Pinhead insists she can't stop him. He offers to spare her from the horrors to come if she simply gives him the puzzle box. Joey refuses and challenges him to take it himself. Pinhead warns that he'll enjoy making her bleed, but when he tries to take the box, it suddenly emits a powerful force and shocks him, giving Joey a chance to run. For a moment, she thinks she's safe. Then Doc appears. But he's no longer human. He's now a Cenobite with a camera lens in place of one of his eyes that shoots lasers. Joey runs from him. She encounters another Cenobite, the DJ from the club, who uses discs as weapons. Joey escapes them and flees into a church. Inside, she finds a priest and tells him demons are chasing her. But he doesn't believe her. He tells her demons aren't real and are merely parables and metaphors. Then Pinhead enters.
Then what the fuck is that?
His presence causes all the windows to explode. The priest tries to rebuke Pinhead with a cross, but Pinhead melts it, burning the priest's hand. Pinhead walks toward the altar.
I am the way.
He destroys the altar. The priest tries to protect what's left of the church, but Pinhead overpowers him. Pinhead picks a piece of flesh from his body and says, "This is my body and blood. Happy are they who come to my supper." Then he forces the priest to eat it. Joey taunts Pinhead with the puzzle box and flees the church. At a nearby construction site, she encounters two more Cenobites. The first is Terry, who now has sharpened hook blades and a cigarette jutting from her throat. The other is JP with two drilling devices thrust through his head. They're about to torture Joey when Pinhead stops them. The other Cenobites soon arrive and join the others, surrounding Joey. But before they can attack, she activates the puzzle box. The box emits a bright light that begins pulling all the Cenobites back toward hell. One after another, they're dragged away. Even Pinhead is pulled into hell. Suddenly, Joey finds herself in the alternate dimension. There, she meets her father. She hugs him. He asks if it's really her. Then he tells her they said she would have something for him. Something she wouldn't be needing again. Joey gives him the box. Then her father reveals himself to be Pinhead in disguise. He tells Joey she's so ripe and that it's time to harvest. He promises to rip her soul slowly. Joey demands to know why he invaded her mind.
You bastard! You invaded my mind!
Pinhead asks whether she really thinks her nighttime world is closed to him. He tells her that her mind is completely exposed. It's like a book yearning to be read, a door longing to be opened. Just as Pinhead prepares to attack her, Joey uses her mind to take him into Spencer's dominion. Spencer appears. He tells Pinhead he's in his world now, and that they're going to hell. Pinhead responds,
Ladies first.
He restrains Joey with his chains and tells Spencer he'll like her better that way. Pinhead then tells Spencer that they are one, and that there are countless worlds waiting to yield to them, with countless pleasures to experience. Pinhead summons a Cenobite from hell to take Joey, but before it can attack her, Spencer charges at Pinhead, causing the box to fall. Joey breaks free from the chains. Spencer then forcibly fuses himself with Pinhead, making them one. Spencer takes control of the body and tells Joey to send Pinhead back to hell. Joey picks up the puzzle box. It suddenly changes shape, transforming into a deadly blade. She drives it into Pinhead's chest. The box then sucks Pinhead inside, sending him back to hell. After defeating Pinhead and returning to Earth, Joey decides to dispose of the puzzle box once and for all. At a construction site in the city, she drops the box into a pit of wet concrete, attempting to bury it forever. She walks away, believing the terror is finally over. But the story isn't quite finished. The building is eventually constructed, and inside its lobby is an elaborate decoration modeled after the puzzle box itself. That's the end of tonight's recap. If you made it this far, you clearly enjoy horror recaps. Subscribe so you don't miss the next terrifying story. What did you think of this movie? Let me know in the comments below. And if you're craving another terrifying story, tap the video on your screen right now. Trust me, you don't want to miss this one.